Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good evening, everyone, and thanks so much for joining Future Peds Res for another one of our webinars in this webinar series. Tonight, we are actually wrapping up all of our medium programs. So this is the last medium program webinar that you will hear from. These are the programs in the Northeast, and we are so excited to have all of our program directors on for this evening. So we are going to go ahead and get started here. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Caroline Maltese. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm a fourth-year student at Penn State College of Medicine. I proudly serve as one of the co-directors for the Future Peds Res group for this year. Alongside Stephanie Maeda, her pronouns are she, her, and she's a fourth year at Western University of Health Sciences. Unfortunately, she is not able to be with us tonight, but she is working diligently behind the scenes to make sure these webinars go off without a hitch. So we are so grateful for her and her support throughout all of this. I would also like to acknowledge our APPD faculty advisor, Dr. Michael Dell. He's the Vice Chair of Education at Case Western Reserve University School of Medicine, as well as Colleen Hughes, who is the Associate Executive Director for the APPD. And we would also like to acknowledge our ComCEP faculty advisor, Dr. Rachel Thompson. She is the Assistant Professor of Pediatrics and Director of Pediatric Undergraduate Medical Education at Boston University Chobanian and Avedisian School of Medicine. And we would just like to thank these individuals so much. Without their support, tonight would not be possible. None of these webinars that we've been conducting over this summer would be possible. So we are incredibly grateful for them and their support. All right, and I'm going to pass it off to our webinar team for this evening and introduce you all to our assistant directors of webinars for the Northeast region.
Hey, hi everyone. It's nice to meet y'all. I'm Fiona Whitaker. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a fourth year medical student at East Tennessee State University, Quillen College of Medicine.
Hi everyone, I am Lavanya. My pronouns are she, her, and I am an international medical graduate from India.
Hello, I'm Victoria dos Santos, a fifth-year medical student from Brazil.
We would also like to introduce our FPR Webinar Associate Director working hard behind the scenes tonight, Sheena.
Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Sheena Bedi. My pronouns are she, her. I am an international medical graduate from India and I'm serving as the Associate Director of Webinars for FPR this season.
And we are going to introduce you to some of our goals for our whole webinar series, but specifically things that we are going to focus on tonight. So we are aimed at providing pediatric residency applicants with some foundational knowledge surrounding this virtual interview season, as well as some insight into the benefits of each program. And we've divided it this year both by region and by size of the program. And then we're also going to have some devoted time for some live Q&A at the end of the session as well. And then I'm going to pass it over to Fiona to continue to introduce our 2025 series.
Yeah, welcome everyone for joining us tonight. We're so happy to have you at the Northeast Medium Regional Programs webinar. Thanks to all the program directors and assistants and representatives who've taken time to be with us tonight. This at the end, but I want to let you guys know we're officially halfway through our residency webinar series, like Caroline said. So our next program will be on Thursday, August 8th, the Western Large Programs webinar. And I'm dropping the link in the chat to sign up for this webinar and all the ones in the future. Before officially meeting our programs, we'll hear from the APPD representatives from the Northeast region states. We'll then begin program presentations, and here applicants can learn about programs and have an opportunity to ask questions during the live Q&A session. The presentation will be recorded, so if you're interested in learning about programs that aren't in your breakout room, or if two programs are going at the same time that you want to hear from, you can head over to our YouTube page afterwards and check it out. So we would like to welcome our APPD representatives from the Northeast region states, Dr. Shedlock and Dr. Nagel, who will give us a quick overview of some of the states included in the Northeast region.
All right, well, good evening and welcome everyone to the Northeast webinar for medium-sized programs. And I just want to thank firstly FuturePeds Res for organizing and hosting this event, and thank all of you applicants and students for attending. I personally have a connection to Caroline, who's a student at my medical school, and I know how much work all of you have put into organizing and coordinating these events. And I know that our participating programs and the students who are here are very appreciative of it. I'm Aaron Shedlock. My pronouns are he, him. And I'm the Pediatric Residency Program Director at Penn State. And I was asked, along with Dr. Nagel here, to provide a really quick introduction to our regions. And I'll let Alex introduce himself as well.
Thanks, Aaron, and thank you to everybody from FuturePeds Res. We obviously I'm old, we're old, but it is so amazing to see the way that this organization has grown year over year, and giving people the chance to know what they're getting into before they get into it is just a fantastic, fantastic opportunity. I'm proud to be the program director at Albany Med's General Pediatrics Residency Program, and also the co-president for the Northeast Pediatric Program Directors Organization. Aaron was good enough to let us get on the same page. So we're going to have him start off talking about the Mid-Atlantic. I'll talk about the Northeast, and then we'll talk to you about why we think the medium programs hit the sweet spot.
Perfect. Yeah. So as Alex just mentioned, tonight's webinar is actually composed of two regions, the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. And I'm one of the three co-chairs of the Mid-Atlantic region, along with Dr. Keandra Lewis from St. Chris in Philadelphia and Jennifer Palmictor, who's from Children's National in Washington, D.C. You can go to the next slide.
And as the co-president, I share my responsibilities with Dr. Lisa Delsignor, who's now the newly minted Pediatric Critical Care Fellowship Director at Yale, and Amaya Karina, who is our excellent Associate Director of the Office of Education at Yale.
So as you all are very familiar with by now, the Electronic Residency Application Service, or ERAS, or ERAS, however you want to call it, initiated the geographic preferencing ability, which divided the nation into 9 geographic regions. So this is, I think, the 3rd year that this has been a thing. And tonight you'll be hearing from the medium-sized programs in the Mid-Atlantic and the New England regions, which are highlighted in orange and I guess purplish pink on this map. And on the next slide, I will highlight the Mid-Atlantic. And so actually, many, many years ago, decades ago, the Association of Pediatric Program Directors also carved up our nation, but unfortunately, ERAS did not take up our carving. So we're a little bit different geographically than the ERAS geographic regions, but they're pretty similar. But mine is the Mid-Atlantic region that you can see here highlighted in orange. I think we are one of the smallest geographic regions, but I like to call us one of the mightiest ones as well. We're composed of 17 different residency programs in Eastern Pennsylvania, Southern New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, Washington, D.C., and Northern Virginia. Next slide, please. And just a couple of quick highlights from some of the programs in our region. Because of our central location on the East Coast, it's really easy to get around. Whether you want to drive or take the Amtrak or take advantage of the numerous international airports that all exist amongst all of the different cities that are in this region. And speaking of cities, that's one of the great things about our region. We have a lot of huge major cities that are fun to visit and live in, and such as Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, just up and down the coast there. But we're also lucky enough to have Atlantic beaches, as well as numerous lakes, state parks, and mountains, where we have the Poconos in Eastern Pennsylvania, which is a great playground for an escape from some of those cities. And because all of these cities, it provides us a very dense area with different trainees that just makes it easier for collaboration, whether it's for research or advocacy or networking or just looking for jobs. And I think that's a real highlight of our region, and it's something that we really try to foster with the collaboration by providing lots of regional scholarships to our trainees that train in our programs. And then this is also a very popular region just for some of the major conferences in pediatrics, which if you don't know by now, you will once you become a resident. The AAP conference actually just this past year was in Washington, D.C. last October. The Pediatric Academic Society conference in 2023 was in Washington, D.C., and then the APPD fall conferences have been in Arlington and Philadelphia pretty much the last decade. And we're very close to Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, which just provides a lot of really unique and outstanding patient advocacy opportunities. Next slide, please. And some of the qualities of our programs in the Mid-Atlantic region are that we range from very large to very small. So obviously this is a medium-sized webinar, but we've got programs that are up to 50 and some that are as small as 6, like the St. Luke's program that's in Allentown, Pennsylvania. We also have freestanding children's hospitals, floors of adult hospitals, or everything in between. Some programs have numerous fellowships and some have none. We even have a military program. We've got urban, rural, suburban programs, which provide us just great access to just diverse patient populations, whether it's socioeconomic, religion, ethnicity. We just have so many different opportunities to care for these unique populations of the world. And because of that, we have a very strong focus on advocacy and healthcare disparities with our close proximity to Washington, D.C.
In the New England Northeast pediatric program area, we really showcase the fact that we're also in a relatively small geographical area, but because of the way that each state essentially has a limited number of schools, you'll see that you really get to enjoy the breadth of the New England and the Eastern New York region. Next slide. The fact that we're so geographically compact, that the highway system, airports are also readily accessible to each other. It's very easy to travel and collaborate. We have one of the most interconnected regional groups in the APPD. And I think a strength for us is that many of our programs are in the state capital of their respective states, giving you a very powerful opportunity to take part in legislative advocacy. Because we are either in major cities or so close to major cities, beaches, some of the best hiking in the United States, very, very close to Canada. There's a lot of chances for people to get to have their whole life training in the Northeast and not have to sacrifice in terms of commuting, traveling around. You really get to have everything here. And that diversity of lifestyles and feels lets the people who are touring the area and meeting the different programs really get to pick and choose how much city do you want that meter bar to be, how much urban, how much rural, and the diversity of the people in the region is really quite remarkable. Next slide. In terms of the size and the flavors of the programs, we have a lot in common with the Mid-Atlantic region. The Boston Combined Residency Program famously is more than 50 residents a year. Number of small programs with very special catchment areas. We also have pediatric hospitals within hospital systems and also some freestanding children's hospitals. Same very comparable mix of programs with and without fellowships, programs that focus on the resident as the learner versus delivering world-class education to fellows. And the spread of urban and rural and other walks of life that you get to see in your patient panels is pretty remarkable. I think that one thing that this region tends to focus on is community outreach and leadership skills, along with opportunities for world-class training and research. Next slide. So why look for a medium-sized program? This is Aaron's slide. I think really you get the chance to have the best of both worlds. If I can address the benefits of size, when you're at a small program, theoretically, you know who everyone is, everyone knows who you are, but you're on call a lot more frequently. And if you decide to take a leave of absence, there could be a misguided feeling of, I'm putting strain on others, or if someone else in your team needs to take a leave. It's much more impactful in a small program. But one of the benefits of being in a smaller place is that you can make individualized choices, and they might have opportunities to do things that don't require you being on a track necessarily, but let you pick and choose fantastic opportunities to specialize your training as you see fit. Aaron, I steamrolled you on this. You want to speak about the flexibility?
No, yeah, I think you said that better than I could have or whatever. But I think from the flexibility, I completely agree. It's almost like you can have your cake and eat it too in terms of having the best of both worlds here between small and large programs. And I think that, in terms of flexibility, you can find our medium-sized programs, as you heard, in urban, suburban, or rural settings. You can train at programs that have lots of fellowships or no fellowships. You can find community-based programs or ones that are in academic centers that are backed by very prominent research institutions with numerous resources. So I completely agree with Alex. It's really the best of both worlds. And obviously we are program directors at a medium-sized program, and so We like to brag about them, and we're excited that you're all here to learn a little bit more about us.
All right. Thank you both so much for sharing everything that the Northeast has to offer. So I'd like to introduce our participating programs for tonight, everything on this list. So attendees, please take a moment to pull out your phones and snap a picture of your screen to easily refer back to when bouncing between the break rooms. This slide will also remain shared in the main room during the entire webinar, so you can go back there at any point to take a picture. We'll now be going into our break rooms. Throughout the webinar, you can ask questions using the chat box on Zoom. You can also amplify insights or what you have learned from the webinar on Twitter. So we'll now give everyone a few minutes to join their respective rooms, and please feel free to hop between rooms if you'd like to.
Okay. Welcome everyone to room 1 of the Northeast Region Medium Programs webinar. My name is Lavanya, and I will be your moderator this evening. I would also like to introduce our wonderful webinar associate director and our assistant director working behind the scenes tonight, Sheena and Diana. I would like to invite our program representatives to give a short presentation of their programs for 5 minutes for the first part of the evening. And then we will take questions after all the presentations. Attendees, you can, however, leave your questions in the chat as we go. And we encourage program representatives to make use of the chat to answer any questions that they can. To ensure that all programs are adequately represented, each presentation will be limited to 5 minutes, and there will be a timer on the screen throughout that can help you with the tracking. Okay, so our first program of the evening is Penn State Health. I would like to invite your representative to unmute and tell us about your program.
All right. Well, thanks again. You already met me earlier. I'm Aaron, excuse me, the program director over at Penn State. I don't know if you want to advance the slide to our infographic, but once you see it, you'll be impressed. As I mentioned, the Future Peds Reds folks are really hardworking, and they asked for a lot of information. And boy, they crammed everything into this slide. So don't worry, I won't read it all to you. While they're pulling it up, I can tell you a little bit about our program. So we are an 8-story freestanding children's hospital with about 170 beds and 20 different subspecialty divisions. So if you're looking for research or education or mentorship opportunities with any type of subdivision, I promise you we have it, whether it's palliative care, rheumatology, complex care, we have it. We also have the highest level possible PICU, NICU, trauma center, and surgery center that you could possibly have to train in, which is something that I think you're looking forward to in a program. And one thing that I really want to highlight about our program is something called the IMC, or Intermediate Care Unit. Turns out there's only about 20% of children's hospitals that have a unit like this. It's a step down from the PICU, but a step up from the floor. And on this unit, we're able to provide care to very high acuity patients that tend to be found in most PICUs in places that don't have IMCs, caring for patients like DKA on insulin drips, or those patients needing high flow nasal cannula, or those needing trach and vents that are unstable settings. And so, residents get frequent and early exposure to these sick patients at the beginning of intern year, all throughout the 3 years. And I think it's really important to think about these types of things. As you're probably aware of, the ACGME is sort of having new program requirements that take place in 2025 that is decreasing a lot of your ICU exposure. And luckily at our program, you're able to get exposure to these sick patients pretty much intern year through 3rd year, and you don't have to have a PICU rotation to make that happen. Our location is really unique. I want to highlight that as well. We're located in Hershey, Pennsylvania, which is very much a suburban setting, but we're just 13 miles from the state capital of Pennsylvania in Harrisburg. And our hospital serves a huge catchment area because we are the largest children's hospital, basically between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. And so all of central PA we draw from, and that brings a lot of really unique patient populations from urban, suburban, and rural areas as well. We're also the primary care provider for the Milton Hershey School. This is located in Hershey, which is the largest private school in the country, which serves children from kindergarten through 12th grade. It's a boarding school for underserved children that come from all over the country, and our residents are the primary care providers for all of these kids. And we've even adopted one of the school homes, an elementary school girl house, and we serve as a big sibling mentorship for that. So it's a really great, fun opportunity for volunteering that our residents get to do, and they do something once a month for free, like bowling or going to hockey games and things like that. There's a lot of pictures on our website. You can kind of see that if you want to, or on our Instagram, which you can see at the bottom of this slide. I just wanted to highlight some aspects of our curriculum. We very much favor individualization. I think Dr. Nagel kind of talked about that. Medium-sized programs have the ability to sort of know all of their residents and individualize the experience for you. We purposefully here at Penn State avoid tracks because we found residents are much more complex than being sort of like the research resident or being, the advocacy or primary care resident. So, rather than being placed in a track, we're small enough with the mentorship to be able to provide you your own individualized experience with about 50 weeks of individualization. And residents can do as much primary care or research or community health and advocacy as they wish when they're here with us. And we do have lots of really unique resources and concentrations that you can focus on things like medical education, health system science academy. We have a clinician educator sort of experience. We've got a physician scientist training program and a rural underserved scholar opportunity. So you certainly can do this. It's not a track. You're not forced to do it, but it's an opportunity that you can build part or all of your individualized curriculum towards. Our residency, and I should say our pediatric program and our chair really support resident scholarly activity. They fund up to $2,000 worth per project to allow our residents to disseminate their works, and residents have been able to travel to places like Anaheim, Denver, Florida to present all of their work that they do here. With those new 2025 ACGME program requirements that I were mentioning are coming, we're really excited about some of the things that we're going to do, and we'll have them on our website. You can read about them, but residents will have the ability to have a day every 2 weeks on an outpatient block to devote to a scholarly project if they desire. We also will be utilizing the X+Y continuity clinic scheduling model as well, and we'll be spreading our residents amongst 4 different clinics in urban, suburban, or rural locations of your choice based on your own pathway. So I guess just to finally, in the last 20 seconds, highlight some of our diversity initiatives of our institution and program. We have a network of underrepresented residents and fellows, which provides just great networking and mentorship opportunities. We've got numerous employee groups to serve different communities and allies of different communities, like the LGBTQ community, disabilities. We have a Jedi Council where we kind of teach residents different things that are going on. And all of these efforts have allowed us to be named in the top 30 healthcare center for Forbes magazine employees for diversity. So thank you for, sorry for going a couple of seconds over. I got a little thrown off with the slide coming up late, but thank you for listening to me and for attending tonight. I'm happy to answer any questions in the chat or via email or later tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shedlock, for talking about your program. And we really apologize for delaying in displaying the infographic. We apologize for that. So our next program for the evening is St. Joseph University Medical Center. Could you please unmute and talk about your program?
Hi there. My name is Kate Guth. I am one of the associate program directors here at St. Joe's in Paterson, New Jersey, about 3 hours east of Hershey, Pennsylvania. I was actually just there in Hershey this weekend to see New Kids on the Block in concert. So a quick 3-hour drive east to Paterson. We are obviously a medium-sized program like the rest of the programs here. We are apparently one of the first accredited children's hospitals in New Jersey. We have a 36-bed general pediatric service, 12-bed PICU, a beautiful new mother-baby unit. We have 30-bed NICU, as well as a 30-bed intermediate nursery as well. We have many subspecialty clinics. So we have all of the subspecialties, all of the pediatric medical subspecialties, including rheumatology, allergy, immunology, gastroenterology, endocrinology, all of them. And they often work together to do a variety of multiple subspecialty clinics, including a neurofibromatosis clinic, a cystic fibrosis clinic, Prader-Willi clinic. We also, with our ENT colleagues, have an aerodigestive clinic. So we're really into a subspecialty, working together with multiple subspecialties, and we see a wide variety of patients. I think one of the real benefits of our program is that we sorry, I'm seeing something in the chat. We here at St. Joe's do offer a new parent elective, and many of our residents have taken the opportunity to do a new parent elective. So I'm not sure who that was asked towards, but yes, we do have that here at St. Joe's. I think one of the benefits of our program is really because of our location in Paterson, which is about 15 minutes from New York City. About 15 minutes, 20 minutes from Newark, which is where, one of the major airports for this country is. We see a very, very large immigrant population. I believe the second largest Palestinian population in the world is located here in Paterson, as well as a very large Peruvian population. So we see a very diverse range of patients, which leads to a lot of really interesting, pathology, as well as just, I think, a lot of really interesting, learning in terms of, social, advocacy opportunities. Being so close to, since, New Jersey is such a small state, we're not too far from Trenton, and of course, like all these other programs, not too far from Washington, D.C. So that does lead to a lot of advocacy. Our residents have had the opportunity to be involved in a lot of recent advocacy opportunities. We do have block scheduling. We do have the ability to individualize our curriculum. We do not have any fellowships in our program, which I've always seen as a real pro, because this really allows our attendings to focus solely on our residents. I am a graduate of this program. I graduated in 2019 and went on to fellowship in pediatric hospital medicine. And, being at other programs, I really see this benefit of having this one-on-one relationship with your attendings without that kind of intermediary, fellow in the way. I have a few of my residents on the call. I have my two chief residents, as well as one of my third-year residents. They are happy to answer any of your questions as I am. And our our program director, Dr. Chuang, apologizes that she was unable to be here this evening. I think hopefully I maybe caught us up a little bit.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing about your program. We'll wait a few seconds if anyone's switching in between the break rooms. All right. Our next program of the evening is Gauriap Children's Hospital. Kindly unmute and talk about your program. Okay, it looks like we don't have any representative from Gauriap at the moment. We can move on to our next program. Our next program for the evening is Stony Brook Children's Residency Program. I would like to invite your representative.
Hi there. Thanks for having me. I'm Robin Blair. I'm the PEDS Program Director here at Stony Brook Children's Hospital, and we are in Suffolk County, New York, on Long Island. I myself trained here at Stony Brook, both as a resident and as a medical student. And I started out as the Associate Program Director in 2006, and then became the Program Director in 2010. And I absolutely love my job. I love everything about Stony Brook. So if you come for recruitment, you'll often hear me say that I'm biased because I think it's really awesome where we train. Our residents are amazing. They are fun to work with. We have great camaraderie in our program, really makes everyone feel at home, which makes me happy coming to work each day. Faculty are truly dedicated to teaching and are interested in resident education at our academic center, which is a clear focus when you read about our program. There's tons of information on the infographic and on our website. I'm just highlighting a couple of things. And I'm always interested in hearing about what residents have to say about different aspects of our program to make program improvements, which I think is important to think about when you join a program. So those are some of the things I love about Stony Brook Children's. But what's more important for you will be what the residents think. And so based on what our residency admissions committee has asked me to share with you, these are some of their highlights. Some of these things are on the infographic, some are not. One is that our focus on wellness through multiple initiatives, including professional identity formation, organized events such as retreats at the beach, pumpkin carving, DEI mixers at a program director's home, bowling, pie baking contests, and even superhero field day events. Our training program serves a very diverse patient population with a broad range of pathology from typical bread and butter to zebras. And that will prepare you for any career path you're looking to pursue after residency. During your continuity clinic experience, you'll have the opportunity to really get to know the unique patients in the community in which you work. And they are diverse in terms of socioeconomic status, ethnicity, cultural background, and many other ways that you'll learn when you come here to Stony Brook. Our residents, faculty, and staff are equally as diverse, coming from lots of different backgrounds, speaking many different languages, and representing many different cultures, which are often represented at our DEI mixers. Our program's DEI committee is very active in the department, and there's too many things to possibly share with you in this short presentation, but I can summarize to say that when you come here, you'll be working to further and enhance your own awareness and ability to promote equity in healthcare for your patients and promote these things professionally. All residents participate in community and advocacy training for 8 weeks in our program and become heavily involved in the local community. Mentorship and access to faculty is also a highlight. Residents in our program have both a faculty advisor and a faculty mentor, which they select. They become very close with their advisors and get to know each other both inside and outside of work, and usually keep in touch for life. All faculty have an open door policy, and as well as our, both myself and our associate program director and chiefs, all of which will become a great resource for you. Our residents are well trained in scholarship, many presenting their work internationally or nationally. And with the Academic Medical Center and university campus, there's always people to support you. You'll have the opportunity to teach medical students during your training here, and that will prepare you for a career in academic medicine if that's something that interests you. Matter of fact, early in the year, ours is in September, our annual Residences Teachers Retreat is a time for you to get to learn some of these clinical skills, teaching skills. We take our residents and fellows off of the hospital campus site out into one of the faculty members' homes and have a full day retreat. So lastly, we have a very new, beautiful kid-friendly children's hospital opening in late 2019. Lots of amenities designed for children, including a live feed from the local aquarium. Long Island is absolutely beautiful and amazing and is considered to be a vacation site. Beaches, hiking, water sports, vineyards, food from every culture, more than you can experience in your time. And we really hope you choose to apply to our program. Thanks for inviting me, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Blair, for sharing about your program. Now, our next program of the evening is Rutgers Health Robert Wood Johnson Medical School. I would like to invite your representative to talk about your program.
All right, thank you so much. Just confirm you can hear me okay?
Yeah, we can.
Great. So my name is Joanne Carlson, and I am the program director at Rutgers. I'm very excited to talk to you today about our program. We are a program of 33 residents that is located in the heart of New Brunswick. Really a great place to be, to eat food, to visit, and also located really nearby other cities that you can travel to. We are an academic residency program associated with Rutgers, Robert Wood Johnson, a wonderful medical school, very well rated. And when you have time here, you'll get many opportunities to teach students both on the inpatient side and on the outpatient side as well. We also have our residents as teachers curriculum, which is a great way for us to teach our residents to become better educators during their time here. The primary clinical site for our residents is the Bristol Myers Squibb Children's Hospital, which is the free-leaning 105-bed hospital. We have a level 1 trauma center, a level 4 NICU. We have ECMO capabilities in both of our ICUs. Like many of the programs, we have all of the subspecialties and are predominantly a referral center for our area. There's really very few reasons when you're here that you're going to transfer patients out. Our clinical services are continuously growing. We just started bone marrow transplant in the last few months. Next door to us is also a really exciting place, the Children's Specialized Hospital. This is one of the largest pediatric rehab facilities in the country. It's a wonderful place not only for our patients, but also for our residents to be able to spend time both on the floors and during electives. For two of our biggest priorities as a program are certainly diversity and wellness. As I mentioned in the chat, we have a departmental task force on diversity that helps recruit, educate, and mentor URM residents. Additionally, we have a diversity series that occurs during our case conference. This includes a wide range of speakers, as well as celebrations where we learn about different cultures. For me, one of the highlights was our Diwali celebration last year that featured resident and faculty both dancing and singing. Check out our Instagram for that. For wellness, we have one of our general pediatricians who is our wellness champion to really make sure we prioritize it as part of our curriculum. With her help, we have 6 wellness sessions planned throughout the year that is part of the resident protected time. These sessions are basically officially free time for the residents to do what they want, but we also plan optional activities and give the residents a chance to come together. Most recently, they had a great time going to karaoke. We also have wellness speakers. We have extra support staff, including social work and psychiatry, who help the residents throughout residency, and a residence assistance program that provides counseling for anyone who needs it. Certainly one of the exciting things for us is that we transitioned to the X+Y curriculum in a 3-in-1 model a couple years ago. This change was made with resident support, really wanting to strengthen our outpatient experiences. During their Y week, residents have around 5 continuity clinics, advocacy time, research, and admin time. For the PGY1s, they also get to do their development during their Y week. I can tell you the feedback has certainly been phenomenal, with residents telling us that they really appreciate the balanced schedule that you have with X+Y, the better continuity, as well as some priceless free time. Next, I just want to tell you my favorite thing about the program, and it's certainly the people. We have an amazing group of residents who are hardworking and dedicated and really supportive of one another. Each resident class always impresses me with how they come together, plan events outside of work, and truly get involved in both the programs and our committees. The residents really make our job worthwhile. We have many great traditions in our program, including resident and faculty mixers, Residents' Day Off, and biannual retreats. The faculty are very supportive, great teachers, excited to help and mentor the residents, and also do a great job bonding with the residents throughout their 3 years. One of the newest things about our program is we do have the option of tracks, and I think it's important everybody does have an individualized curriculum, but for anyone who has a special interest in education, research, or advocacy, we want to provide support for them. I also want to mention that we are so proud of what our residents do after residency. Usually we say about 50% of residents go into Gen Peds and about 50% a subspecialty, even though I can tell you our current PGY3 class has a large number going into fellowship. And we've just been so impressed with our fellowship matches over the last few years. Just from last year, we had somebody go to CHOP for pulmonary, Baylor for PICU, and Pittsburgh for GI. I also want to say a special welcome to Axel and Beth, to our chief residents who are here tonight and also are excited to answer any questions. We certainly are happy to talk to anyone at any point. I'll put my email in the chat and always happy to talk more about the program. And thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much, Dr. Carlson, for sharing about your program. Now, our next program for the evening is Cooper University Medical School of Robin University. I would welcome your representative to talk about your program.
Hi, my name is Bill Gressley. I'm the program director at Cooper, and I want to tell you a little bit about our program. We are located in Camden, New Jersey, right across the river from Philadelphia. Our location in Camden really gives us number one, a great diversity of patients that we see from both within Camden as well as the surrounding communities of the southern 10 counties of South Jersey. The location right across from Philadelphia also allows our residents to live both in Philly or in South Jersey in the suburbs of Camden, and offers also access via public transportation easy access to the hospital. The public transportation lets off right across the street from the hospital. We have a level 1 trauma center, which gives us a unique experience. We co-manage all of the trauma and orthopedic trauma patients on our inpatient unit. Our inpatient units consist of both an inpatient unit, a step-down unit that's incorporated within, and many patients that are often, as has been brought up already, often admitted to PICUs and other places do get admitted to our step-down unit, a NICU, a mother-baby unit, and a pediatric ED. The strengths of our program include many things that have been brought up already. Our small size with close interaction with faculty, the resident autonomy that our residents are on call overnight in the PICU and on the floor, and that really gives them with an attending usually at home, and that gives them a lot of autonomy in managing patients. Our residents, about 40% of them end up in fellowships. They're all very well prepared, whether they do fellowship, they do hospital medicine, or they go into primary care practice. We offer a primary care track that is a separate program and separate program number, and there's more information on our website about that. But that is designed for people who have a strong interest in primary care, not necessarily committed to primary care, but a strong interest because 18 months of the curriculum is set up within outpatient experiences. We have a curriculum that I just want to brag about a little bit. Our curriculum is systems-based, set up with a lot of pre-assigned readings and quizzes, along with an evening board review series, both of which are to prepare you well for the boards. We have a great amount of support from our hospital for a couple of initiatives, and one of those is quality improvement. Our residents all do multiple quality improvement projects, and our hospital process improvement office is very involved in educating the residents and supporting their projects, both within the department and also interdepartmental projects. We have a new assistant dean who has gotten us recently a number of perks for the residents that are listed on the slide that have included a phone stipend as well as a device stipend and paying for step 3, all of which were added to the things that we already had been able to include previously. We do 2 resident retreats per year. All of the residents go together along with program leadership. One of those is educational, one of those is fun. And I also just want to add under diversity, in addition to what's listed, we incorporate diversity topics into our journal club, selecting articles that highlight diversity topics. Our hospital-wide resident-run DEI committee is working on a curriculum to roll out to all residency programs as well. And I think I have covered everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Grisel, for sharing about your program. Now, our next program of the evening is St. Luke's. I would like to invite your representative to share about your program. Okay, so unfortunately, we do not have any representative from St. Luke's with us at the moment.
Lavanya, I actually know a little bit about St. Luke's. Can I say something just about them?
Yes, sure, go ahead.
So St. Luke's is a relatively new program. I know there are about 6 residents a year. We work closely with them because they actually send some residents to our hospital. I can tell you that they have a really supportive administrative team. Dr. Erickson Parsons is their program director. We work really closely with her. She's just wonderful. She's so supportive of the residents and very dedicated to doing everything she can to help the residents. I think they have a lot of great opportunities there, and then they do come to our hospital for a couple of rotations to make sure that they really get a variety of experiences. I know they do a lot of social events for their residents, and also really emphasize wellness. They're great at making sure that they get faculty evaluations and responses, and are just a wonderful team. So I'm sorry they're not here, but it is a wonderful program, and I hope you will check it out as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Carlson. Attendees are free to look through the infographic, and you can even go back to our YouTube page later if you want. And so before we conclude, I just want to make sure if we have any representative from Goriab Children's Hospital with us.
Okay. I also
Okay.
just want to mention, I know Dr. Winters, the PD there, and he is wonderful. He's very involved in APD. He also is very big on diversity as well. I heard his speech last year, is really a wonderful mentor, someone we collaborate with. So certainly is a great program as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Carlson. So I guess this concludes the program overview portion of the evening. And now we will open up our floor for the live Q&A. If anyone prefers to remain anonymous, you can send a direct message to me or Sheena as well, and we can address your questions to the program representatives. Okay, so I guess our first question would be, how do you prepare your residents for the next step in their medical journey? Anyone is welcome to answer the question.
So I was going to say, we started this year a career development series. I think certainly one thing that we do is throughout your time, you have a lot of faculty mentors that you work with, but with our career development series is basically just a way to have residents help them prepare CVs, to learn about interviewing for jobs, talk about fellowship, talk about primary care, and making sure that other than your faculty mentor, you really get a lot of one-on-one time for that you can kind of make that choice. And no matter what you decide, that you have support in every step of the job process.
We have something very, very similar. You have, an advisor, a mentor. This is embedded in your retreats, where we teach residents how to negotiate contracts, how to understand malpractice insurance, how to interview, prepare CV, cover letters. Every year we have a full day workshop, a half day workshop where residents can learn about all the different types of fellowships, private practice, academic peds, and then also learn about what does MOC mean? How do you study for your board? So all these types of things that will help you prepare for whatever the next steps are, whether it's fellowship or primary care or research.
Couple of similar things that we do here at Penn State, but a couple other things that we also do is we also sort of provide financial literacy type workshops and lessons too. So I think we're all very smart, going to medical school, but at least I didn't learn a lot about what is a mortgage and how do I pay off my loans and things like that. So we bring different people to have those discussions as well to really try to set up our residents, not only for career success, but obviously lifelong success, and being able to pay back all those loans that you might have accumulated and have financial success.
Thank you everyone for answering. I see a question that which is the most important thing that you see on an application that makes you decide on a candidate, or how do you decide between two similar looking applicants? Which one does the interview go to, or how do you put one above the other for the rank order list?
That's a super hard question. I'll be the first brave one to give you my opinion. We have really set aside enough interview spots so that we don't have to make that type of decision before we meet people. You know, on paper, many people can look relatively similar, although of course not the same. But when you meet people, then things start to come together and it makes it, you know, a little bit easier. And I'm sure all of us as program directors have our own formulas that we use to sort of decide on how to, you know, at some point you have to rank them in an order, right? Two people can't sit at the same spot on the rank list. That does become very, very hard. And it's usually, for me, that takes more than, after interviews are done, that takes about a month for me to do, with lots of discussion and poring over everything. But I honestly, I think for me, the interview is most important, talking to people, meeting people, getting to really get to know them the best we can over the course of the interview day.
I think the important thing also, just to go off, Robin had a great answer, is that it's a match, that we want to make sure you're happy here, just as much as, you know, we both want to be happy on both sides. So we really want to make sure that you know everything we can about the program, that you think you can fit in well. And, you know, I think the interview day is a great chance to really get to know you and show you what it will be like to be a resident here. You know, and certainly for the application, I think someone asked before about research. I think everybody can, you know, different people have different strengths. So, you know, it's not certainly one thing we're looking for, but just did you do different things? Are you well-rounded? If you didn't do research, did you get involved someplace else? You know, certainly it's helpful to have some leadership, some advocacy, something that you did outside of school. But I think, you know, we're certainly wanting to take a holistic approach to interviewing. And that's a really important thing for that. We get to know you and not just your scores.
The APPD organization is amazing, and we're all a part of it. And I can feel pretty comfortable speaking on behalf of probably most program directors that I think pediatrics has really done an amazing job emphasizing a holistic approach, as you heard from Robin and Joanne. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that about our specialty, because I think that we really do look at so many different things on your application, and one thing isn't probably going to make or break you.
All right, thank you so much for answering the question, everyone. So I guess we're approaching the end of our program overview of the evening, and we have time for one more question. Okay, so I can see in the chat, this is to all the programs, if you have any cutoff for year of graduation.
I think some of us answered that in the chat. A lot of people said they didn't. We have a loose tenure as part of our institution. It is not a strict one, but I think some other people might have written in there. I don't know if everybody did.
All right, thank you. So hopefully everyone got the chance to learn more about our programs. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We will now be returning back to our main room for closing.
Okay, everyone, welcome to room 2. My name is Fiona, and my pronouns are she, her. I'm a 4th-year medical student at East Tennessee State University, and I'll be your moderator this evening. I'd also like to introduce our FPR webinar team member working behind the scenes, Victoria. So our first program of the evening is Brown. I would like to invite your representative to unmute and tell us a little bit about your program.
Hello, I am Brian Lurie. I am my pronouns are he and him, and I am the program director of the pediatric residency program at Hasbro Children's Hospital, Brown University. I am joined tonight, this evening, by our program manager, Denise Reyes, who's on this as well. She can say a quick hello.
Good evening, people.
Thanks for joining us. I do want to tell you a little bit about Brown. There's a lot of information on this slide, and you don't have to read the whole slide. I'll hit the highlights, but all this information is also on our website, so you can look it up there as well. A little bit about our program. We have a great group of residents, fellows, and faculty, and we actually pride ourselves on our culture of camaraderie. As you all know, we're a medium-sized program. We have 16 residents per year. And we're also joined by 4 med-peds residents and 3 triple board residents. We worked hard over this past year to make sure to put all the new ACGME 2025 requirements into effect. And they all went into effect on July 1st this past year. So we are making sure that by the time you all are residents in our program, that everything is running smooth. Some of the things that this allowed us to do was transition to an X+Y schedule. We created an academic half day. We incorporated the newly designed mental health block into our schedule this year for our PL2s and PL3s. We also increased all of our elective and IC time as per the new guidelines. And I think the greatest thing about it all was that we really value our residents' thoughts and solutions, and they were really involved in every step of these changes, and they're giving us feedback on a daily basis on how we could even make it better. Other highlights of our program, wellness is so important to us. We built wellness into the academic half-day curriculum. So there's one time a month wellness session at our academic half day, followed by wellness activities. And we also just introduced an art and wellness curriculum into our curriculum this year as well. Other things we do, we have monthly processing groups for our residents, and each class has their own support group where they meet once a quarter after the day ends, and they talk about the program and things we can do better. AI is also important to us. We have a social justice curriculum. We have health equity grand rounds. We do racial caucusing for all our residents, and we're including the faculty in that as well. Last year, we introduced this new system. We have the safety net when something goes wrong in the hospital. Now we have something called RudeNet, which is an anonymous reporting system if there's any lapses in professionalism that our residents witness. And when people do good things, we also have NiceNet, so we could reward those who are doing good things for our programs. Some of the big changes ahead, we're offering tracks during the Y block in the 25-26 academic year. Some of these will be a global health track, which we currently have, but we're going to incorporate it. We're going to build it up a little bit more. Primary care track, a research and QI track, and a medical education track. And we're thinking about a few others too, based on suggestions from our residents. Providence is a great place to live. We are the ocean state. Water is everywhere. You will find it wherever you want to go. We have great food. We have great culture. We are a minority majority city, which is really great because it adds diversity to our program and to the patients that we care for. Being in the smallest state in the country, we have the urban, suburban, and rural pretty much very accessible to the hospital. Everything's within 20-25 minutes from wherever, from the hospital. You can get to wherever you need to go in that small amount of time. And it's really easy to get to Boston and to New York from our program as well. I think another thing we're really proud of is that a lot of our graduates stay in Rhode Island because of how much they've loved the program and love the state. And if they do leave to do fellowship, many, many, many come back and join our faculty, which I think speaks volumes for our program. So you could continue to read the slide, but like I said, everything is on our webpage if you want to learn more. Denise, do you have anything you want to add?
Yes, I can't believe it's not on here. Free parking. We offer free parking. We do not pay to come to work. That's what I like to say.
Your favorite thing, and I love that.
And it's close to the hospital. It's not like super far.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you both so much. And I'm so sorry, I forgot to mention before that we're doing like a rough roughly 5-minute timer per program so that we can get through everybody and make sure everybody has an equal amount of time. But please feel free, both attendees and programs, to use the chat to ask and answer questions, just in case we don't have a ton of time at the end for a Q&A. So thanks again, Dr. Lurie and Denise. We'll give everyone seconds to switch break rooms if they want to. And if y'all need any help switching break rooms, attendees, please just shout it out. You can message me in the chat. You just go to leave room in the corner and then it'll say like change breakout room. So our next program will be Mass Gen. If your representative could unmute and tell us a little bit about your program.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sean Fitzgerald. My pronouns are he, him. I am the program director here at Mass General for Children. And I'm also joined tonight by Leslie Breton, one of our program coordinator extraordinaires. Do you want to say hi as well?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Leslie Breton. I use she, her pronouns. And I am part of the coordinator team that supports both the pediatrics and med-peds residencies.
Great. Well, first of all, I want to thank everyone here. This is an amazing event, and I know there's so much that goes into putting this all together that I really just want to thank everyone here for all of your work. Well, with my 5 minutes, I want to highlight a few things about Mass General for Children that we really enjoy and really find special about our program. But there's obviously a lot more information here. So much like Brian, I will try to hit some of the highlights here and then certainly do entertain any questions that folks might have later on. So first of all, we are a pediatric hospital within a hospital program. And that means that wherever children or families find a place that is very conducive to the needs of children and their families. So of course, that means like the places that you might expect, like the pediatric ward and the NICU and the PICU, of course, are staffed with pediatric faculty and staff, including child life specialists, as well as pediatric nurses. But that also means places like the radiology suites. We have a dedicated pediatric emergency room. With pediatric emergency faculty as well. And our residents spend a lot of time there really getting to derive the benefits of working directly with those faculty members. So we really do love that aspect of our program, but really the wonderful part about being within a larger general hospital is that we can really bring to bear a lot of the resources of the general hospital to benefit our patients, but also to benefit our trainees. Our trainees really collaborate across programs and across specialties on a number of different projects, and I'll touch on that in just a moment. Some of our other highlights of our program is that many of our residents, in addition to rotating through our hospitals, our main campus hospital will also rotate through a community health center that is one of our affiliate institutions, actually two of them, in fact. One is Newton Wellesley Hospital, which is located about 25 minutes away from our main campus. And then also our residents rotate through one of our affiliated institutions through Harvard Medical School, which is the Cambridge Health Alliance. And you'll be doing some time in their urgent care as well as their pediatric emergency room, as well as working at the school-based health centers, as well as on their mental health ward as well. So really, we really derive a lot of benefit from our connections with so many other institutions. A couple other things, we have a number of community health centers, and our residents do many of our residents do their continuity clinics there, and we really do enjoy that. There's also on our main campus, we do have all the pediatric subspecialties, and in addition, we offer fellowship programs in critical care, as well as GI and pulmonology, as well as endocrinology, and then we also participate in the Harvard Combined Program in neonatology. Despite having fellows, the residents do not experience many barriers between them and the faculty, which I think is a really special thing about our program. We're a very tight-knit department, and our residents really get to benefit from that. Our faculty know you really well, and in turn, you know our faculty really well, too. A couple of things. We do, of course, have a categorical program. We have 14 residents in that program per year, but in addition, we offer a preliminary year program that offers 2 spots. There's also an adolescent psychiatry program, a pediatric neurology training program, and of course, our med-peds program that Leslie mentioned as well. MGH also hosts the Centers for Expertise. This is one of those opportunities to collaborate with individuals across specialties. And that's in areas of like global health, medical education, healthcare policy management, as well as quality and safety. In terms of our curriculum, we do have an academic half day. We also have a longitudinal simulation program where individuals get to work on developing their clinical reasoning skills, as well as a robust simulation program within our clinical learning environments. As far as diversity initiatives, the thing that we're most proud of at the present time is our new pediatric anti-racism and equity education initiative, which seeks to incorporate discussions about health and equities within all of our curriculum. And it's something that we're really proud of. And then our Center for Diversity of Inclusion provides support for all residents, especially individuals who are underrepresented in medicine, and that they do so by connecting individuals with mentors who have shared identities within our institution. In terms of resident wellness, real quick, I love this. We do offer a $10,000 annual stipend for all residents to be used at their discretion. We also have a competitive salary package. Our residents are part of the NGB Resident Union. And then in addition, we recognize that mental health is really important. So all of our trainees can access mental health services on demand through our trainee assistance program. And of course, many of you have probably heard about Boston, but I'd be happy to provide answer any additional questions about Boston later on. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Dr. Fitzgerald. If anyone wants to switch to the other breakout room, we'll take a couple of seconds. You can switch. And our next program is going to be Albany Med Health System. If you'll unmute and tell us a little bit about your program.
Hey, everybody. You had the chance to hear me speak at the introduction. My name is Alex Nagel. My pronouns are he and him. I am the program director here at Albany Med. I love what we do. I think that one of the things that makes us special in the region is that, as I said at the beginning of the talk, you really get to have everything. You get to see everything, do everything, and miss nothing here. We are at the western edge of the Northeast pediatric programs. But that lets us have essentially sole responsibility for over 700,000 kids in a 25-county region in Eastern New York and Western New England. We're really the only game in town, and our entire educational philosophy is resident-facing. We are proud of the fact that we've created a training environment that creates a 50% Gen Peds and a 50% subspecialty trainee outcome. When you look at the people that are in our community that we are serving, as you drive into Albany, you will see that you go through true rural to real suburban to real inner city environments. And the makeup of the people in our region that we have sole responsibility for is what they call representatively representative in the United States. We're one of the most average places in the country in terms of our wealth and poverty distribution and our racial makeup. The people that we serve like us and respect us, and it's a very pleasant, it's a comfortable place to be. I like calling out some of the things that we have going for us, and particularly in terms of our benefits package, 4 weeks of vacation per year. Our cost of living to salary ratio puts us in the 90th percentile in the country. We also have free covered parking. It's connected by a bridge. It's pretty sweet. And I like to let people know that we don't get walloped by the winter snow the way that some people expect from upstate New York. When you look at what we're doing in the educational space, we are a solidly medium-sized children's hospital within a hospital at 125 total beds, with 19 in the PICU, 60 in the neonatal ICU. Our own congenital heart surgery program, all of the trauma and surgical programs that come from having a level 1 trauma service. Our residents really get to see everything and do everything. And because we're resident facing, they get first crack at all the procedures and all the medical decision making. When you look at the way that we structure our didactics in our educational program, we have a nice hybrid of academic half day and also longitudinal conferences. We have essentially unfettered access to simulation technology. We don't have to pay per resident, per hour, per session. So our residents have multiple simulation sessions per month. We really strive to get everybody 6 to 8 mock codes per year. And we have the ability to give our residents the opportunity to participate in one of the first pediatric-focused point-of-care ultrasound curricula in the country. Because we're the only game in town for this giant geographical area, we also happen to be the only place for a lot of other pediatric adjacent residencies to get their peds experience. 4 family medicine groups, our own psychiatry group, anesthesiology, 3 emergency medicine. We end up training above and beyond our 12 peds residents per year and our 4 med peds per year, but 120 physician learning time throughout the course of the year. And that means that we don't have to have all of our residents on service at all time. One of the curricular features that we're most proud of, that is most unique to us, is Peds Star, where every spring we take all of our interns out of their usual clinical duties for 4 weeks. And we give them a week of dedicated workshops to show them how to create their own research program, not just jump onto somebody else's prospective thing, but to create your own research project. Then a week of how to really do advocacy, how to create your own community outreach, how to go into a community and meet the stakeholders, how to go to the legislature and make things happen. Then we talk about how to do quality improvement and be a leader, and give you a week of time to actually lay out the groundwork for the job you'll be executing over the next 2.5 years. Since we started doing this, we've almost tripled our resident scholarly output, and it gives us a chance to let our seniors take a second look at a number of rotations that they've had in the past as they make their career choices. I want to save enough time for KD, our fantastic coordinator, to hype man anything I left out.
I have only a very brief window because my 4-month-old is currently crying in the other room. But I will say that, we offer a lot of great stuff here as far as well-being. We have a whole well-being council that is run by our residents. They do barbecues, they go to the movies with each other. It's very adorable. They go roller skating. Anyways, I myself offer like a once-a-month breakfast with all the residents, and they come and chill out before they go to rounds. So I hope you will visit with us, and make sure to stay in touch with us on our Instagram at AMCPeds.
Thank you, Dr. Nagel and Dr. Daly. Our next program is Hackensack Meridian Jersey Shore, and we'll give everyone a couple seconds to switch rooms if they'd like. Okay, your representative can unmute and tell us a little bit about the program.
Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be here and present our program. I'm Alana Toreen. I am the program director at Jersey Shore Medical Center. Dr. Taylor Olean is on the call as well, and she's our associate program director. She also was a resident with us and a 4th-year chief, and now she's APD at our program and really works on a lot of the educational components. A couple of things that have already been mentioned at other programs, and I think why we're all here now is that we are kind of small to medium-sized programs, and I feel that our program is very close-knit. We feel like a family with each other, and I think that's really important when medical students are coming into residency, and those transitions of being able to support each other and help each other. We take actually 10 categorical residents per year, but we also have a child neurology residency where we accept 2 residents per year. So for our 1st and 2nd year residents, we actually have 12 residents per year. The child neurology residents spend 2 years with us in 100% in pediatrics, and then they go off to the remainder. But we have a lot of autonomy. We only have one fellowship program, one pediatric fellowship program at Jersey Shore, and that's hospital medicine fellowship. They take 1 fellow per year. So our residents have a lot of autonomy on the floor. I think someone else mentioned about having first dibs at procedures and things like that. So our residents, obviously rotate through the NICU, the PICU, the floor, the emergency department. These are all, the PICU and NICU are staffed 24/7 with intensivists. We also take pride in our mentorship program. I feel that, I always had phenomenal mentors along the way. I'm a neonatologist for the last 25 years, and I felt like I always needed to give back. And that's what we try to help our residents learn, how to not only educate them in pediatrics, but to become mentors and to educate those below them and give back. We have a faculty advisor mentorship, as well as we have a peer mentorship where we put people together, upper level, second and third year residents with our interns to help them transition into their residency. We also have wellness activities once a month. We also have something called Resident Forum, where we sit down with the residents, we listen to their concerns, we talk about all the different rotations, and that's our way of improving the program, making changes, keeping them involved in all those changes. We also have instituted some of the 2025 changes by starting a mental health rotation in their second and third year. So that way we're ready in 2025 for all of those changes. We have a simulation center where the residents throughout the year go to our simulation center. We have a half-day didactic. I think some other programs talked about that, but we also have during the week morning reports that are case presentations, and we have grand rounds, which includes the entire Department of Pediatrics. So we actually have something every single day, some kind of didactic activity every single day. All of the core rotations are at our hospital. When we joined HMH, Hackensack Meridian Health, probably about 6 years ago, we came with our own medical school. We have a medical school associated with us now, Hackensack Meridian School of Medicine. And I feel like I've been at Jersey Shore for 12 years, and I feel like since we've joined or combined with Hackensack and the School of Medicine, our pediatric program has grown exponentially. We have almost every subspecialist. All of the rotations are done at Jersey Shore. All of the core rotations are done at Jersey Shore. And, they don't have to go anywhere to get all of that training. So that's important because I've watched this program grow over the last 12 years and especially over the last 6 years. Our residents do a lot of wellness stuff in the hospital, but they also do a lot of, there's been a tradition that when they're done with their night float rotation that week, that last morning, they go for breakfast, they go for brunch with each other. They've had Halloween parties. We do a holiday party every single year. We do a graduation party every single year. So we try to do some things outside of the hospital, obviously, because we know how hard our residents work. We also offer free parking. Whoever asked about the free parking, we also offer free parking, and we also have a meal stipend where we give residents money for food every single month, and that's not included. That's separate from their salaries. I feel like we're down at the Jersey Shore. If anyone knows the Jersey Shore, we're very close to the beach, close to New York, close to Philly. There's a lot to do. We are in a smaller community in Neptune, and we have surrounding towns as well, and it's very diverse, ethnically, religiously, and even financially diverse, because we get a lot of people come down from New York City in the summertime. We blow up in the summer, and we have towns that are extremely rich, and we have towns that are poor and need even more services that we could provide. So I love living down the shore. It's a phenomenal place to live. I raised both my kids here. They went to high school in the area, and I feel like it's just a really, really great place to live and to work. And I'll let Taylor say a few things because I'm sure I forgot something, but I'll let Taylor say a few things. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. Just a couple quick things. As a graduate of the program, I can say coming here, you will definitely be prepared for whatever comes next. One of my favorite things was our post-night float breakfast, our after the rotation happy hours. We really try to work hard and play hard here, and we're definitely a family. So follow us on Instagram this recruitment season, see what life is like at the beach. think about post-call days at the beach, and we're excited to see your applications.
All right, thank you both so much. We'll move right into the next program, which is the University of Rochester. If your program representative could unmute and tell us about your program.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Karen Gallen. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the program director at the University of Rochester. It's nice to see all of your faces, although some of you have just black boxes with names. How did that happen? But it's great to be able to talk with all of you tonight. I'm really going to try to keep it within our 5 minutes to keep us all on track. You know, and I think about our program high level, I think the first thing, I'm going to start with a similar phrase of family. We really kind of view our residency program, and what I mean by that is our residents spanning our categorical child neurology and med-peds programs, to our program leadership, to our program immense support that we get from our program administrators. We really are a family. And so you don't just join a program, you really join a whole group of people that you're going to probably stick with for a long time. We like to joke about the vortex of Rochester. And so people who come to train with us, whether they stay for fellowship and beyond, or whether they go away for fellowship and come back after their training, is a very common thing in Rochester. And many of the primary care pediatricians in Rochester are trained at our program. So it really is a community that once you join it, it's hard to leave. It does suck you in. I'll warn you about that ahead of time. In terms of our programs, I think a really key feature is that you will spend time both at Golisano Children's Hospital, which is a tertiary quaternary children's hospital, but you'll also spend time at a community hospital, which is about 20 minutes away. And so it really gives you a chance to see the breadth of pediatrics and the breadth of systems that you might work in your career. And so we really try to prepare you for whatever it is that you want to do. We certainly have fellowship programs. So if you want to pursue fellowship, there are opportunities to interact with fellowship directors and fellows themselves. And at the same time, we truly are this in the chat, but we're a resident run hospital. We have way more residents than we do fellows, and they really run our institution. And so you really get a lot of autonomy in that piece. And working at a community hospital, you also get a lot of autonomy where there isn't a PICU attending who can come for that code in a flash because they don't live at that hospital. You at times are the most senior pediatric person in-house. And so it really trains you independent practitioners by the time you graduate from our program. There are lots of opportunities to customize your training, to really pursue what it is that you care about and what you're passionate about. You can see on the slide all of our different track options, and almost all of our residents choose a track. You don't have to though, but most people do, to have both dedicated time and learning in figuring out how to do the things that is really important for them. We currently have kind of typical block scheduling with 2-week blocks, but we actually are transitioning to X+Y, which will be in place this coming July 1st. So that is coming. And we have a really wonderful coaching program. And what that is coaching on are things like professionalism and communication. We actually have trained psychologists in our institution that spend time with every single resident in each year and help them work on really finessing some of their communication and professionalism skills in the context of patient care. There are tons of things we do for resident wellness. And, you know, there are the pull-out things like parties and, you know, night float breakfast and those things. But I think what might be more important is the things that we try to do every day to help residents deal with the challenges of, working hard, working a lot, and also trying to maintain their sanity as a human being. And so whether that's our catered lunches as part of our new conference curriculum, whether that is always having candy, whether that is ensuring we check in when we hear a patient in the PICU or the NICU or the floors, did things, you know, a patient had a bad outcome, because that happens no matter what you do. Sometimes those things happen, and ensuring that our teams are doing okay. Also really trying to balance the education throughout the training to ensure residents have plenty of time to pursue their individualized curriculum and electives. We are actually in a region that was not discussed earlier because we're in upstate New York. That's in neither the Northeast nor the small mid-Atlantic part that was talked about. And the wonderful thing is it's a place with a low cost of living, with things to do during all seasons. The snow is not that bad, I promise, especially, unfortunately, global warming is real. And so snow has really not been that bad over the past several years at all. And so whether you're an outdoor person, whether you're an arts person, whether you're a kind of a beer and wine connoisseur, whether you love going to festivals, all of those things are present in Rochester. And so it really is actually a really fun place to live, where we like to say you can get anywhere in 20 minutes. So traffic is not really a thing. And so it just makes your life easier, and making your life easier when you're working hard as a resident is important. And then we've done many diversity initiatives over the past many years. And so some of those things are highlighted there, but we really have intentional positioning around anti-racism and supporting LGBTQ. We have reporting options if there are concerning interactions that happen. We have DEI incorporated into the curriculum throughout numerous ways. And it really is something that we work both within our institution and our community to continue supporting our intentional position around that. So check out our website, check out our Instagram page. Hope to see you during interview season. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yellen. Now for our final program of the evening, it is SUNY Upstate. If your program representative would unmute and tell us about your program.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you to the organizers. My name is Medea Jagbe. I'm the program director here in Syracuse, and I'm joined by Aubrey Mariani. She's our program coordinator. So it's been really interesting and fun to listen to all the other programs around us. So we are, I guess, uniquely situated in a region of New York State called Central New York. And we serve a pretty large area, about 17, 18 counties, and it's very culturally diverse. So one of the things people may not really know about Syracuse is that it's one of the refugee landing areas in New York State. So we get a lot of refugees, and because of that, we have a very diverse patient population. So we're truly rural, suburban, and urban, and we have patients from literally every social-cultural walk of life that you might imagine. So I think it lends itself to our residents training, because they get a lot of diversity in terms of families that they have to take care of in clinic, and families that they have to take care of in the hospital setting, in the ICU setting, on the floors. We have some unique opportunities, specifically global health, that we're very proud of. We actually have a global health fellowship that's brand new. And in third year of residency, we have a call-free month. Our residents are able to take that month and go to Kenya and learn at the Obama Children's Hospital that we have a partnership with. We also have a lot of resident autonomy. So I've been hearing everybody say their children's hospital is resident run. So it really is ours. We depend, a lot on our residents. And we have 15 residents per year. We have 2 chief residents. Actually, this year we have 3 chief residents, but they're able to do very career-focused pathways. We also have these tracks in global health research, advocacy. Our residents are able to take care in continuity clinic. They are actually their own the PCPs for their patients. So if you look at like their card, the insurance card, it actually has the resident names on it. We have every single subspecialty here. We're very well represented, and we sponsor J1 visas. I think that's probably really important. Our current intern class, every single person in our current intern class is actually on a sponsored J visa. We have recently updated our curriculum to fit in with the new ACGME guidelines for 2025. And we have this graduated autonomy model. That means our first year residents are considered our learners, our second year residents are managers, and our third year residents are the supervisors. Because they don't have to really compete with fellows, they get to do a lot of things and do a lot of decision making by themselves. We have the traditional 4-week blocks. So we have 13 of them. We have weekly sims for our residents. We have had an academic half day for quite a few years, and it goes really well. We do weekly board review. We have a lunch and learn every Monday, and we provide lunch for the residents during their academic half day. Let me see what else is really nice. We have up to 12 weeks of paid parental leave for our residents, in addition to their vacation. And we have a pretty robust DI curriculum that's really growing. So we do equity rounds. We have quarterly DI workshops, and we're incorporating a lot more things into our curriculum. And I guess the last thing I'm going to brag about with Syracuse is, even though we're pretty small, we're mighty, we have a really nice airport, compared with like the big airports in Newark or in Boston, or even, I'm going to say probably even Rochester. Ours is really nice and small, but you can really get flights to anywhere. We're close. We're a 4-hour drive from Boston, 2 hours from Albany, an hour away from Rochester, 2-3 hours from Toronto. So we're very close to everything. New York City is about 4 hours away, and we have residents from every single part of the world. So we also are a little bit on social media. We have an Instagram, I think, where it's somewhere, on the slide. And I'm going to let Aubrey, see if Aubrey has anything to say. I see I have about 20 seconds to go.
No, that was perfect. And I just want to point out that parental leave also can act as a medical leave. So you get 12 weeks if you have a medical concern for anything, or moms or dads. It's not just for moms. So we're very inclusive of everyone here, and we understand that there needs to be a work-life balance. And we also offer a daycare right here at Upstate too, that has some of the best rates in the city for our residents and other personnel.
All right, thank you guys so much. Hopefully everyone got the chance to learn a little bit more about what our Northeast programs have to offer. We want to repeat how grateful we are to all the directors, coordinators, other representatives who took the time to join us tonight. Unfortunately, we don't have time for a live Q&A, but you guys have been really communicating a lot in the chat. So hopefully y'all got everything, all your questions answered. And again, thank y'all so much for attending. So it looks like we're being pulled back to the main break room. So I'll see y'all there.
Perfect. We are bringing everybody back from the breakout rooms, and just want to say thank you so much to everybody who has participated this evening, as well as all of our program directors who have taken the time to be here tonight. We really do appreciate all that you've done to share the information that about your program with all of our participants who are eager to learn more. So we just wanted to say thank you so much, and we'll hope that you join us in years to come as we continue our mission of Future Peds Res. For participants, I just wanted to again circle back to our webinar series that we are conducting throughout the summer. So like I said, this was the last of our medium programs. And next on Thursday, actually, we are going to start with our large programs. We'll have, again, 4 webinars throughout the middle of August talking about our large programs. There's the one-time registration link that it was sent in the chat previously, and you can also scan that QR code in the corner of the screen if you would like to just register for the rest of them. If you can't make it on the day, we also do send out the link to the recording as well at the end. So we are excited for these last couple webinars, and then we will close our whole session on October 7th with the webinar that's going to be mainly focused on navigating the interviews. So we'll give you a little bit of a breather after all you learned all about the programs you've applied. We're kind of sitting there waiting for those interviews to start rolling in, and then we're going to teach you a little about how to go about navigating those. So we hope you join us for that one as well. And then again, we just wanted to say thank you. If you have any feedback for us, we would love to hear it. Program directors and participants alike, go ahead and scan this QR code. That's going to take you to one of our post-webinar surveys. And we would love to hear from you to continually work to improve these webinars for the students, so that you guys get the most out of these as you possibly can. So with that, I'm just going to say thank you for this evening. Thank you to all the program directors and to our participants, and we hope to see you next webinar, if not for the program directors next year at this time. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.